All right. AFC East. Who do you got out in fourth place? AFC East.
AFC East, fourth place. I think that they are going to be an interesting story to follow all year. Thank you. Thank you. Producer Amber coming in clutch, getting information and beers. But I got the Jets down at the bottom. I got them finishing 4-13. I think that they will be competitive in a lot of games. There just won't be enough juice at the end. And that's kind of something that we've seen a lot with the Jets here recently. They just won't probably score enough points. It's going to be really hard to understand what this offense is going to look like, though. We're going to have to see what they look like in the preseason. The running game could be really spectacular because they got a couple of good backs and a quarterback that can run now. So that's kind of the where I'm not sure how this offense is going to score points. Obviously, Garrett Wilson is a dog, but I don't know that I trust the Jets very much. So I've got them pretty low right now at 4-13.
All right. Well, we are definitely going to have a divergence here.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So my team in fourth place, AFC East, and my worst team in the NFL.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins?
I had the Miami Dolphins getting a whole 2 wins. 2-15 for the Miami Dolphins. Okay.
You make me feel much better about my projections on the Dolphins because I also think they're going to suck, just not that bad.
I think it's going to be a rough year for them. Look, I hated their offseason. They lost, their safety. I can't think of his name right now. Excellent talent. Their offensive line already was not very good. I feel like people have kind of started to figure out McDaniels a little bit. You've had a bunch of players come out and talk about like, oh, we had a lot of talk about how we were building a culture here. Now that they've left, they've been like, yeah, that culture was all talk and nothing but bullshit. You've got guys like Tyreek, who don't know what he is anymore. Is he possibly a potential trade candidate type stuff?
He's like a dog. I mean,
you've got your cornerback, your best cornerback, wanting to leave.
Yeah,
and not reloading that secondary really at all this offseason. You bring guys like a James Daniels to help fix the offensive line, which when he's healthy is an above average interior offensive lineman, but he's not healthy almost ever. And I love James Daniels coming out of Iowa, but like he's just not been healthy. So I don't know that he's going to provide you that much of a boost. McDaniels had a really flashy offense that first year. And then I think people started to figure it out because we did not see any of that last year. Even with Tua being on the field for the entire year, I don't think Tua's the guy either. Like, and I think that this is the make or break year, whether or not Tua Tagovailoa is the long-term solution at quarterback there. I think that with as bad of a year as I projected them to have, McDaniels, who I think is already on a hot seat, might be out. I think they might do a big
I called it last year, but I was too early. I thought he was going to get fucking fired.
I think that he might be gone. I think they might move on from Tua, try to trade him to get whatever assets because we're looking at a quarterback draft here that isn't too bad. Now, they would have the number 1 overall pick, but they'd be able to.
You know what they should do? Trade for Dylan Gabriel.
Okay. No, you love having 2 rookie quarterbacks, Mike. We had this whole diatribe. It's different. We got 2 rookies.
It is different.
You gotta have 4 quarterbacks, including a Super Bowl winner. But look, this Dolphins team, I am expecting them to have a pretty bad year again. The culture stuff that they're talking about, I don't think is going to get any better. They were, posting about how they're having practices outside in the rain. What do you fucking do? Welcome to the NFL. Like, this is something that you can fucking do, and it's not a big deal. You don't need to show your feathers about it online. Good. You're playing football. It's a man's sport. You guys are going to play outdoors. You got to be ready to play up in fucking New England and Buffalo end of the year. Like, the rain don't really matter. I expect it to be a really rough year for this Dolphins team and for there to be some major overhauls.
Okay. All right. So this is one of those divisions that I have stacked very low. So moving on to team number 3 for me, I have the Patriots, who I expect to be a decent team, but they're going to finish at 5-12. They will still need a lot more offensive firepower. I know Mike Vrabel is a very good coach. I think the defense will keep them in a lot of games, but they still do not have enough juice on that offense. For me, if I'm Mike Vrabel, you're still going to have some salary cap money coming up here soon. You have to attack weapons. They did a good job of addressing that offensive line, but they need weapons for Drake Maye. They need them bad, like legit guys who can go out and win or out. And coming, well, not next year, 2 years from now, because Jeremiah Smith is still a fucking couple years away. But there are some good receivers. So where are you at on number 3 here, big guy?
Number 3, I got the Patriots. I got them at 8 and 9 though.
Okay.
I am giving them a Vrabel boost for sure. So last year they finished, what was it, 4 and 12, I believe. So I'm expecting
4 and 13.
4 and 13. I'm expecting them to build off of that. All right. This was a Patriots team that was god awful, rudderless ship, captainless ship. They have a good head coach there who is bringing in good coordinators with him. You look at what he did in Tennessee. I never really liked those Tennessee teams that Vrabel was a part of, yet they were always competitive. Like even in close games or games that they lost, they were relatively close. And he was doing this with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. I love Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye is going to be a great quarterback. I think we got to see a little bit of that last year. And that was with next to nothing as far as weapons. They went into the offseason with the most cap space. They brought in a lot of notable names on the offense and on the defense. You got Stephon Diggs, question mark. Admittedly, question mark there was Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, okay. So thank you. We can talk. You can say that Stephon Diggs is a big signing. You have no idea what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, we aren't sure as of this point. But Milton Williams, Carlton Davis, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, Morgan Moses at right tackle, Mac Hollins at wide receiver, the Pastronaut as a backup quarterback.
They brought in some mid receivers and one guy who's probably getting suspended. There's not enough juice on that offense, man.
It's more than they had last year.
Correct.
And Drake Maye still didn't look bad with what he had out there. I think that you're going to get a coach boost here, and then you could almost do nothing but improve that roster with how bad it was. And they went out there and they spent money and brought in guys who at least are mid or average, which is better than they had last year. That's going to net them at least a couple extra wins. That's how I got them. Maybe it is a little bit too bullish, but at 8 and 9, they're still a losing record, but they take a pretty decent step forward here in a relatively weak division. I mean, you're getting a baked in 2 wins there versus the Dolphins. So I got this Pats team taking a step forward. And another theme that I have in general is there's a lot of mid teams, a lot of them floating around that 500 mark throughout this entire segment that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I feel this division is very mid with the exception of the top, in my opinion. So going on to team number 2, I think we're different, but because we're going to be same at the top. I'm going to have the Dolphins at number 2. You're going to have the Jets. I got Dolphins at 6 and 11. I think for a lot of the reasons that you brought up, they are not going to have a good year, man. They are done. I thought not Jaden Daniels, that Mike McDaniels was getting fired last year. We are right there. We are on the precipice of it. The offense is not working the way it should. Jalen Waddle is supposed to be this big time piece of that offense, was completely fucking ghost for a long time. Wasn't getting targets, and when he did get targets, didn't convert them. So I think that they have questions about his development of players, and his scheme is starting to be caught up to quickly.
I don't know that he's a good leader on that team. I think that he's probably a great part
of
an offensive
out of his mind all the time, dude. Have you ever seen a cokehead?
Never.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they definitely don't look like fucking Mike McDaniels.
As far as I know, he's recovered from alcohol and whatnot. Either way,
he looks like then Miami is just killing him.
Look, it is tough for Miami to put together a good team because that is just a party capital. Coach, whatever. It's tough down there, but either way.
Mike McDaniels that showed up week 1 in Miami, and Mike McDaniels now looked like somebody went through just absolute hell in like Cancun for a month.
Yeah. I think that he doesn't have the locker room. I won't speak to the off the field stuff as much because I don't know. But what I do know is it feels like he does not. It feels like he's one of those young coaches that has let the players kind of run amok. I do not doubt that he has some offensive genius because we got to see a little bit of that first year. But I don't know that he has a control of that locker room. I don't know that he has control of that full team, and I don't think that his scheme has been fully developed into a way that is going to be able to put together a good roster. But I've already talked enough shit about this Miami Dolphins team. My number 2 team that I got in here is the New York Jets, which they have gone through chemo, lots of radiation. They've
I'm
gotten the
interested to hear
cancer
the
out of
number
there.
here on how many wins they get because it's a lot more than I got projected.
Look, I'm giving them a win, just an extra win, just for Aaron Glenn fucking off Aaron Rodgers, like bringing him in to tell him we're cutting you. I love it. But I do think Aaron Glenn's a good coach, and I do think that is a guy that is going to have the locker room behind him. He's going to motivate him. He's going to bring a lot of that Dan Campbell energy to New York, to the Jets. It's a tough place to play, but look, Justin Fields going there. He's linking up with his old teammate Garrett Wilson. Maybe we see a little bit of Ohio State magic. I think that this team had a pretty solid fucking roster last year, and they had cancer at offensive coordinator, they had cancer at quarterback, and by removing that, you're gaining extra wins. We know that their defense has a lot of talent on it and can be very good. 2 years ago, they were one of the better defenses in the league. Um, I don't know about you, but I believe in their running game, and I think that they got guys on offensive line that can be really good.
Yeah.
Schematic
So
changes,
that's the part that I like. I do have my question marks on Justin Fields still in the passing game.
absolutely.
But he can run a competent offense with the ability with some good running backs. I just don't know that is that gonna be enough? Because he's gonna have to throw the ball
Sure.
efficiently.
Yeah, and I feel like they're going to try to scheme themselves a lot more like the Lions minus the passing game. They're hard nosed on defense, hard nosed, brutal on offense, running the ball, and then they're going to try to channel a little bit of what they can of Jared Goff. Now, there's no
Feels like a little
comparison between Goff.
placeholder year because Aaron Glenn's guy is not Justin Fields.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I think that you're taking a potential upside guy. Like obviously we know he can run, he can be
Sure.
gangbusters for fantasy, but fantasy doesn't get you wins in the NFL. We
Correct.
know that he can run. I don't think that Pittsburgh gave him enough leash last year to be what he could be.
Well, he played well.
And that's the thing he did when they were starting him, they played well. And I think that they can channel a lot of that there with the Jets. They got a good defense, a good offensive line, a good run game, and Justin Fields can do some stuff with the football.
Listen.
I got the Jets at 10-7.
Whoo,
I got them in a winning season. Look,
that's way higher than I got him.
Yeah, for sure. I think that we're going to see a pretty significant boost because unlike the Pats, who are getting a boost just from the coach and some offseason additions, this is a team that already was good in many facets of their roster construction, who now are going to have a competent coaching scheme, a guy who's going to control the locker room, do good things, and they're not going to have a piece of shit at quarterback. You can do a lot with that in a weak division. Like there is one obvious contender here in this division, and that's who we're going to get to next. That's the Bills.
Yeah,
right.
100%. How high is the win total for you?
I got them at 15-2.
15-2.
I could see them running the card this year. They got tough ones against the Chiefs
Ravens
again and the Ravens, and that's going to be one of the funnest matchups to watch in the year. Is that early season Ravens Bills matchup? But I got them at 15-2. Really good team. Number 1 in the AFC, Buffalo Bills. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. No, the biggest question for me is James Cook. Like, are you going to get him in there? Are you going to pay him? Because the running game obviously is hugely important to this team, and James Cook has been fantastic. He's one of those guys, though, and it's why I think that they probably are a little apprehensive about paying the money. If he has any sort of trajectory like his brother, you only got a couple more years out of this guy. He's slighter than Dalvin was. Like that's the fear with them. But I think that they are in that window. I was scared that they were going to fall out of that window last year, but they're still there. They still have what it takes. They added some pieces on defense, which they really needed this offseason. So get Cook back in the room, get him happy, try to go for it this year. Bills #1 in the AFC, or excuse me, NFC. Yeah, AFC. It is AFC.
All right, let's just all right. Anyways, so I also have the Bills at 15-2. They're going 6-0 in the division. They're beating the shit out of everybody in that division. In my projections here. But they are my #2 team in the AFC. But this team is stacked. They're going to be really fucking good again, man. Josh Allen's a dog. Josh Allen has been one of the best players in the NFL since his 3rd year in the NFL. And that hasn't slowed down. And the team around him is also very good. They are well coached. They win in all facets of the game, man. But they have to maintain a running game, because if Josh has to do it all, it won't last. Josh needs somebody to take that pressure off. James Cook needs to be signed. He is a huge part of that offense. And you know what? You got him late in the draft. You can probably sign him to not a huge deal, because his production, while has been great for you guys in terms of league-wide production, he's only sitting around, 6th, 7th in the league? So you can sign a very important piece of your team for relatively low value money. You'd probably be the 3rd or 4th paid running back in the league. And you can get this done. That should happen immediately. The sides got to come together, because this team can win a Super Bowl. They're that good.
Yeah, absolutely. James Cook's 2nd round pick. You didn't get him late in the draft. Same as his brother.
I thought he went later. I thought he went 4th.
No, 2nd rounder. I just had to pull it up just to make sure I was correct there. But
okay,
2nd round pick. Either way, the draft position doesn't matter to me.
No.
Like the running back market of the Saquons and stuff like that, and Christian McCaffrey's getting that money. That's a completely different tier. James Cook has to realize he's not in that tier.
He's going to be in the 4th or 5th. He's going to be 4th or 5th highest paid running back in the league.
Yeah, and I think that there's probably a way to do that, at least for a couple years, which is realistically probably what you need to do. Is you need to look at like a 3-year contract with this guy, because by the end of 3 years playing in Buffalo, that style of environment, being outdoors like that and that sort of weather, the heavy run usage that Buffalo has, like you're going to wear this guy down. So you probably don't want to tire yourself to him super long term. But obviously, he is such an important part to your roster. While you're in this window, you need to strike the iron while it's hot. But yeah, Buffalo Bills, really good team. Expect them to be making it very fun in the playoffs this year.
Agreed. Very much agreed.